I heard that call, and I could see that play in my head. Like, that was crazy.
Hey, you know what's funny about that, K Bizzle? Every time we play that clip, knowing Double A's personality, when he says, "How fast are you, young fella?" I could just see Ameer saying, "Fast enough."
Yeah. What kind of speed does the young man have?
Man,
that
was an extraordinary call. What's funny about that play was that was my freshman year, so I really didn't know like the impact of making plays at the University of Nebraska and how that carries on to campus and how that really feeds into the energy of the student body. So I was in the theater class. It was stupid early in the morning. It was like a 7 a.m. class on Monday too, right? You know what I mean?
Oh, he's one of the smart ones.
Yeah, I actually went to class. This was
before this new era. Hey, Ameer, way to sneak that in there, brother.
You feel me? That's a humble brag. I didn't even know they started school at 7.
Yeah. So I go in this class, man. We had worked out early in the morning. I'm like half asleep. I used to always sit at the very top. It's one of those big old auditorium type classes where they got like 80 seats in there, right? So I sit at the top left corner. I'm walking in and my back is to the screen. Usually the teacher put up a prompt for the day on the screen. I'm walking my back to the screen. I finally sit down, and on the screen it says, "Thank God for Ameer Abdullah." That's what the teacher had on the screen. And that was my like real welcome to Nebraska moment. Like, oh, these people are serious. These people really care about wins and losses at this university. And if you can bring wins by any means necessary, they're going to love you forever.
One of the cool things about talking to you guys, and KB is kind of easier because he's got the branch on. I get to see his business acumen, and he's just super easygoing and good natured. And one of the things that I like about you, Ameer, that I've always kind of gravitated towards, and I tell this story, and I think it's cool that you've invested in EJ. I'll tell you how it's morphed into the other running back room in a second. But I remember coming to practice, and in your individual was Braylon Hurd, yourself, Aaron Green, and Rex Burkhead. Coach Brown had the running backs, and you guys were going through drills, and I'm just, I'm just watching, right? I'm watching, and Coach Brown comes over afterwards, and he said, "Oh, we've adopted some of your old drills, and Coach Solich would be proud, and this, that, and the other." And I asked him, I stopped him, and I said, "Does Ameer always cut these guys in line? Like, what?" I asked him this. Like, why did those guys let him go ahead of them in line? And he's like, "Oh, DB, I got to tell you, man, like, Ameer's going to do everything that Rex is going to do because he sees the work ethic, and Ameer's just a worker." I was walking after practice to my car, and I go, 2 things. Number 1, that guy's going to work out here. But number 2, if you ever want to do something and you're not supposed to, you better stop waiting in line. Like, you better, because that's how Emmett is. And so it's natural for me to see why you gravitate towards a guy that he just refuses to go away, man. Like, his ability to keep showing up and hop to the front of the line versus guys that are waiting for permission. You got to love that, man, because I'll never forget that day. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
100%. I mean, just going back to what you were saying, I definitely watched everything Rex did because Rex did everything the right way. And, like, I think that's probably the biggest blessing that I had going into the University of Nebraska. It wasn't having the competition of Braylon and Aaron, which they were dynamic players within themselves. It was having someone who led through action as opposed to through speech. Like, Rex probably spoke like 30 sentences throughout my entire time at but when he did speak, it was with his actions and it spoke volumes, right? And he was a guy that was like never going to back down from hard work. He was always going to, even if he was dog tired, if he was doing conditioning in the summer, he was going to try to finish in that top 5 every single time and every single drill. And I was like, this dude is going to play in the league. We knew that from the minute we got there. I was like, I want to play in the league, so I got to do everything that he's doing because I gravitate towards underdogs. That's why when they were picking up lockers, I sat my lockers right next to Kenny Bell. 2-star game, both guys. we both knew that like the writing was on the wall that we ain't supposed to be playing. We're not supposed to be the guys that's really come in and and make any noise. And Emmett Johnson's the same way. Guy from Minnesota that a lot of people from the turnover of coaches and stuff, they kind of forget about him. And even when when Matt Rule first got here, I don't think he was really his guy. And I don't think Emmett Johnson was his guy. I think they did everything they could to find people who were maybe more aesthetically appeasing or whatever as a running back that fit kind of their idea of what it looked like. But that guy, like you said, he just didn't go away. And not only that, he sought me out, right? Like I didn't go to him. He messaged me online and was like, dude, give me any game you can. Whenever you come back, man, let's rap. He came and volunteered at my coaching clinic, not coaching clinic, excuse me, my camp 2 years in a row without asking for anything. He just wanted to be around me, just to soak up the energy and soak up the knowledge in any way that he could. And to me, that was a reflection of just like some of the seeds that I had sowed, you know what I mean? In that running back, like, I guess, atmosphere at Nebraska and some of the seeds that Rex and some of the people that came before us did. And I'm glad that he was able to take those and grow his own vertically integrated foundation of what it means to be a running back at Nebraska now, because I'm proud, man, because it's been a while since I can actually look at that backfield and be like, that's a guy. And Emmett is a guy, and I think it took a while for a lot of people to really believe that, but he just shows up every single week, man.
Ameer, you mentioned kind of the similarities in the mentality between you and Emmett. Do you see any similarities in your games, the way he goes about his business on the field?
Absolutely. I feel like he's a unbelievable dual threat. In fact, I'm jealous. I'm jealous that he's in the offense that he's in. I am. Because
I'm a dinosaur.
Yeah,
at least you got to be a velociraptor. I'm like a brontosaurus, man. Like
Kenny, if you want to speak on that before I go into it, because I know
Kenny wants to play in this offense.
Man, it's crazy. We were just talking about this the other day, and I'm not here to. You guys know me. I'm not here to throw stones at the offense that we played in. I'm grateful for our time and the opportunities that we did, but the stuff that Coach Holgerson is dialing up is really setting the young men up for success. He understands that he's got a dynamic back that can catch the football out of the backfield. So did we. He's still doing it on Sundays and scoring touchdowns. So to see that kind of transpire for Emmett, I think couldn't be better timing. I'll let Ameer talk about that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I just feel like the similarities I see in Emmett is just the dynamic ability to do so many different things. Like you see the screen that he took for 56 last week. It's just scratching the surface of what his potential can be as a weapon. And then when you look at like the NFL landscape, I know scouts are going to be drooling about a guy like that who can make people miss in space. And I think what is most similar in our games is just his anticipatory nature. He sees it before it happens. You know what I mean? Like he runs.
Watching that guy press
zone.
duo.
I was about to say that he runs inside zone in the duo scheme, which for those who don't know what duo is, that's two front side double teams. He just understands how to manipulate linebackers, and you got to be slow too and then speed through. And he really understands that. And it takes a sixth sense that you can't really coach that for a back who can do it really consistently. And that's what I felt like I had at Nebraska, which allowed me to have in my senior year tons of long runs. And you saw that jump for Emmett this year where it went from just, marginal gains to boom, big runs, because the anticipation is right on mark.
Hey, and part of that too speaks to KB. I remember we were at an event this summer, or maybe it was last year, AA, and KB and I were talking, and somebody asked him about his favorite plays and kind of what he was doing. And first thing he talked about was not only just the kill shot in the Big Ten championship game, but just blocking and laying wood and taking pride in versatility. And you can't have big plays and long runs without everybody doing their 1 of 11, right? So you watch guys like Hunter and you watch guys like Key and Luke Lindemeyer just annihilate people downfield. I mean, KB, I'll let you go first just because I know that speaks to you because you took pride in your wiry toughness.
I did. I took a lot of pride in our offense, and I think I took a lot of pride in blocking because our backfield made it easy to do so. Like when you got a Roy Halou, Rex Burkhead, Ameer Abdullah our senior year, like go push crack on the safety because you get him and Ameer's not getting tackled by the corner. He's going to make one miss, and we're going to go for 30. You know what I mean? Like, so we took a lot of pride in that, and it's great to see the wide receiver room take pride in that now. But that's a reflection of your running back room, because you can't take pride in going to, you know, knock the mouthpiece out of a safety if you don't think your running back's going to get to the second level ever. You know,
you guys didn't get to cut it's a little tougher for you guys on the perimeter than it was for us.
Yeah.
I think even now the dudes have it worse, because we could push crack. Like, for people that didn't know what that means, like if you have a corner that's looking you up, you can release outside and then throw him by and be waiting for that filling safety in the run game. And oh my goodness, you used to be able to take
and now all everybody does in the run game is they put those corners in conflict.
Yeah.
It's hard to pull off.
Yeah, that used to be some of the best plays, when you get a receiver that would do a hard release, like they're running a fade, throw their corner by, and that safety would be coming down hard to fill. I mean, you could turn on film from like Tennessee, Chattanooga, and watch Quincy Enunwa kill people. I'm talking oh my goodness. Brutal.
I don't think people realize how freakishly gifted Quincy Enunwa was.
Yeah.
That dude,
criminally underrated.
We talk about our offense. He's the one who got shafted the most in our offense. With
not only that, but they didn't redshirt him. They played him our freshman year, which was ridiculous.
I know.
You know what's cool though? See, you know I can vibe with this because I rock with a lot of old guys. You know I love how your group, that era, you guys, you're tight. Your boys way down the road. Like, that's how you know the culture was what it was supposed to be when it's there, because you guys still vibe with each other years later. If it was as miserable as sometimes people want to make it or go back and revisit, it's like it wouldn't be like this. But that's part of the secret sauce.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like I don't like the comparison of like soldiers in war. Only just because I got a lot of appreciation for guys that do that, and I respect. Like, I understand how serious that is. But the day-to-day, you know, adversity together, working towards something for 5 years together, you know, that's something that'll never be lost on us. I know Ameer's the same way, but yeah, we got a group chat that all of us still talk every single day. Like, this is
every day.
like we talk all day, every day. Everybody's kind of staying up with each other, even though we're living in different parts of the country. But I think it talks to, you know, the culture that we had, but also the guys that we brought in. You know, I think it's one thing to have like a great culture, but it's another for guys to actually stick around for 4 or 5 years and let that become their livelihood. So big shout out to the men in charge at the time.
Ameer, let me ask you this, because you, I think, found yourself in a very similar position to what Emmett's going to find himself at the end of the year. You had a decision to make, right? After your junior year, you had a great year, you know, almost 1,700 yards, like just killed it, right? I'm not going to ask you what you think EJ should do, but what was your process in making that decision? Obviously, NIL throws a huge wrench in this thing, right? So I get it's not apples to apples. But like, in your mind,
apples and pumpkins.
Yeah, no, it's like and Double A looks like he swallowed a canary, like the
Look, it's funny, man. I was talking to my PR rep yesterday, and it was like, you got to start being more honest in these interviews, because, you know, I've been media trained so much, and I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready to take that step.
Let's hear it. Let's do it. What do we got?
I think I'm ready to take that step today. First and foremost, to answer your question, I am the youngest of 9, so I look to my older siblings and my parents for a lot of guidance. And at that time, obviously, I think being a millennial, you know, being born between 1980 to 1996, we have a very unique experience where we're kind of like, we go from the analog age to now the digital age. So you were raised on education, but you also can understand that trades and like acquiring skills today is where the future of work is going to be, you know what I mean? I say all that, I preface all that to say that education was a huge thing for me in my family. So a lot of the reinforcing advice that I got was go back, you know, finish your degree. But if I could do it over, I probably would have left early. And the reason why is because I'm in my 11th year in the NFL and I play running back. And it's a very gruesome position. I've been very fortunate. I'm the only running back left in my draft class still playing. Longest tenure running back in the league right now, which is crazy. The average career for running back is like 2.7 years.
Is there even anybody?
Do they not watch your off-season training videos? Like,
I mean, I take care of myself. I train hard and I eat right and I do all those things. But I'm working on technically my 4th career right now in the league, right? And I just know from a wear and tear standpoint what could have been in terms of just like, even now that I take care of my body, if I would have taken that 1 year off of my body in college, pounding, especially in the offense that I was getting, I was going to get about 250 carries, with the University of Nebraska. And I understand now the landscape of NIL kind of changes things. I kind of encourage guys to weigh into that a little bit more, maybe milk that system. Like if you can come back to college and make $1.5 million or $2 million and you weren't going to be a for sure first round pick, might as well do that. But when it comes to EJ, I definitely think that looking at this draft class of running backs, looking at the year and the momentum that he has, hey, I'm getting out in front of it, man. I think he definitely needs to take this opportunity just because he's different. You got the Jeremiah Loves, he's different, but EJ's also different. And I can definitely see teams that are getting older running backs like the New Orleans Saints who have used Alvin Kamara in that capacity for years. There's a lot of teams that are looking for that next guy that can get you, 10 carries, 10 catches a game, and he can strike while the iron's hot right now. Unsimilar to like what I did, I stayed and I came back and I was in a deep running back class where I probably would have been a first rounder the year before, as opposed to a second rounder with Todd Gurley, Melvin Gordon, and the likes of a lot of guys like that. And, that's just my opinion as a more matured and grounded and well-versed in all different spectrums individual today. But, I definitely think he has a very tough decision that's very similar to the decision I had after my junior year. We played the Gator Bowl after the Georgia game.
Listen,
I was begging Ameer to come back our senior.
That's selfish, Gabe.
I know. I'm a bad teammate. I'm like looking back. I heard everything he said. I was like, damn, but I might have robbed my boy from.
Yeah, you did. You did.
I was like, listen, bro. Like, we need you, bro. Like, we need you, bro.
Double A.
I don't regret a thing. I don't regret a thing because that senior year was the most fun I've ever had playing football, man. Like every weekend was electric. Me and Kenny were playing we were unconscious that year. We were playing out a year where like we had very light, class schedule, you know what I mean? Because we didn't have that many credits left to graduate. So I'm taking like 2 classes a week. So it's all ball. I'm pretty much in the NFL. So I was able to really lock in and we all played at a high level and we're able to get drafted because of that. And so I don't regret a thing, but, just speaking logistically, like how things can kind of sort out for this young man right now, I think, dude, you really want to come back and try to do this again in this landscape? Like,
Ameer made such a good point where like it's one thing to have a good year, but to actually like NFL people or NFL teams are starting to notice now. So like to have that motion heading into the middle of November and
ride the wave.
Ride the wave. I love the dude. I want to see what's best for him. Obviously, I want to see him back in Scarlet and Cream. He's a great player, but I also know what an entire year playing the running back position does to you, man. It's like there's no other position on that field that is like running back, especially when you're playing at Nebraska. You're RB1 and you're expected to carry the thing, 20 or 30 times a game for an entire season. Like that doesn't this doesn't speak to someone's toughness. Obviously, it does, but like you play football for that long at that position, it's almost inevitable that something serious is going to happen. So. I want to see what's best for the kid. I would never, I'm not going to like chase him out of town. Like, oh, you don't get out of this, but
your boy in town. Why can't you check? No, I'm playing. I do. So this is because I'm lockstep with you, and I think Coach Barthel and Coach Rule, they're lovers, like other-centered, like that agape type love. So I think they can pull their emotions out of it when they talk to EJ and have these sit downs, because when you care about somebody else and it may be at your own expense, you may find yourself saying things like, hey, I think you should go. Right. So that's different. But I want to get back to something you said, Ameer, because son of an educator, I'm an L.Ed major, mild to moderate special ed endorsement. You talked about understanding when you were born, your birth order, education. If I just closed my eyes and kind of didn't see you, you sound a lot like EJ in terms of his aptitude. He's very cognizant of whether it's the political landscape, the educational landscape, fiscal landscape, his brand. Do you guys kind of have a connection when you talk to him? It seems like he was born in the wrong decade.
Oh man,
Exceptionally bright for his age.
I think it's interesting because I'm pretty sure he's first generation Liberian, right? Liberian, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things I guess merit behind that kind of gives weight to what you're saying.
We talked about people being from other places that look like us but aren't us from the state that want to take advantage of the luxuries that are in the states. I just feel like traditionally speaking, I have a lot of first generation friends, Quincy Nwanwa, Toby Okiimi, and Collins Okafor as well. And what I've noticed, they're first generation Nigerian. What I've noticed is their parents are all about education first, and they're all about being able to ground yourself in a reality of I'm a human first, and I need to make sure I take care of my human duties before I start to enter the dream world, right? Because America is the American dream. The American dream world of entertainment is something that's usually the dream that we latch our wagon to, right? And I think Emmett comes from one of those first generation families. And similar to me, I come from a Muslim family, which is very grounded in the same foundations of like dignity, self-preservation, and you preserve yourself by first taking care of your home being your mental health and taking care of the things that are going to sustain you past just the identities that we carry or we take up throughout our, progress of life, of football player or whatever, whatever form of profession you take on. So I think that's why Emmett has such a more mature appeal than a lot of other kids who are American born, not to disrespect the Americans. No, we get it.
But
believe me, we guys, talk about this constantly.
I'm sure you guys are following what I'm picking up what I'm putting down. Is he comes from a very strong and firmly rooted family structure that has given him all the tools he needs to have the right discernment and to understand that every decision I make is critical, right? And for sure.
You guys are something else, man.
I want to add to that a little bit because Ameer just made several really good points. Because for a while, and this might be the fragility of the ego of the football, the older generational football player. It was so refreshing to hear that EJ had reached out to Ameer because, as one of the generational guys from that time, it feels like the kids don't really care. You know what I mean? They're so enthralled with the show that nothing else matters, which I understand that but Ameer and I, guys like Emmett Johnson, Quincy Anuno, we had teammates, we had father figures, we had staff that really grounded us into, this is just a show, right? This, who we are, how we treat people, how we treat each other, how we treat our families, how we treat strangers is way more important in our everyday life. We're building a foundation for who we are as men, and not that we're just football players. So I think that education is really important. And for a long time, I was worried about it if it was being lost on this generation. But that's one of the reasons I love it.
It is, man. It kind of is, dude. I'm back home in Alabama right now visiting my parents for my bye week, right? And I went back to my high school. They're 11-1. They're in the playoffs, right? And I'm happy. I'm excited. I go back to talk to these kids, man. And I'm talking to these kids. I'm pouring into them too, man. I wrote a short story that was metaphorically congruent to where their season's gone in terms of storyline. And I'm just looking at their faces, and they're like, "Bro, we don't know you, bro." The recency bias is heavy, and they're just even if it wasn't, they don't really care about lineage.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's hard to decide because especially when you have that kind of spirit. You can, at the end of the day, you can only really feed who's hungry. Right. But it's counterintuitive to what you want to do when it comes to investing in other people. So you have to have really good discernment in terms of whether it's beneficial or edifying of your time
Right.
versus is it your responsibility to do to begin with?
In my opinion, it is, right. It always will be. We are like we wore the N and we did it proudly, and it's something that I don't ever plan on stop supporting. It's something that I'll always be proud of. I'm also not going to be like the geriatric uncle that's like these kids need to talk to me and take my knowledge. Like I'm not going to do all that, but I'd be lying to say that it doesn't hurt. You know what I mean? Like I'm a human. I'll be honest. I'll be vulnerable with y'all. Like I would love to pour knowledge into these kids and talk about my experiences and be around the university and do all those things. But also like you said, DB, you can only feed who's hungry. So
you know who has a similar temperament to you, KB, deep down?
Who's that?
Isaiah Hunter.
Oh, I actually believe that. I like Isaiah a lot. I like that wide receiver room, man.
Hey, hit him up.
I will.
Extremely tough, kind of wears it.
Yeah.
Talked about the 2-star gang, which I love. Hunter he's a miserable person to practice against. But if he's
Kenny Bell.
Yes. I'm telling
Kenny
you,
had a tradition.
This isn't by accident, KB. I'm telling you, there are some mannerisms in which you could.
I like that.
I'm dead.
Kenny was an absolute troll, and I loved it. Every Tuesday was called Touchdown Tuesday. Kenny, you could hear Kenny from across the athletic facility. Touchdown Tuesday.
Oh man, hey DB, when Carl was there, this was my freshman year, and I was redshirted. I was a nobody. I was walking in with a blue jersey on like the middle of the week, just yelling Touchdown Tuesday to the entire starting defense.
Just giving it to him.
Prince Amukamara, Eric Hay, just running my mouth.
Hag was my guy too, man. Did he take it?
Man.
Please tell me he just didn't take it.
Yeah, no, man, it was a battle every day out there, man. It was Fonzo Denard, Eric Hay,
another
Kamara,
competitive spirit.
So like I'd be out there talking trash, and they would hit me. Like those dudes, they'd be like, "All right, run your mouth, little kid."
Yeah. What won't Fonzie hit?
Yeah, I was 18-year-old, 165 pounds, soaking wet.
All right, fellas.
Oh man, thank you guys so much for joining us. Ameer, I do have to say it was super cool seeing you. I think it was last week. Get that big kickoff return that set up the game.
Man, we're rolling. We're rolling right now, man.
DB loved the Daniel Jones signing, so he's
the offseason.
He's loving the Colts right now.
Oh, great value pick.
It's been a pleasure to watch your career. I wish that you got to stick around my 49ers a little bit longer, but that's okay.
No coincidence too that you guys get along. They both depth. So you have depth.
Yeah. You guys don't even know, man.
It's okay to be smart and good at sports too, guys. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's important.
The Japan trip is loading. We've been trying to plan this Japan trip just for our schedule for a while, just to get out there. It's loading. DB, pull up if you can.
Hey, listen.
I didn't get smart or good at sports. I just got sarcastic, so I don't know what happened there. But guys, we appreciate it so much. Thank you for joining us, Ameer, Kenny. Kenny, thanks for setting this up for us. Hopefully we will talk again soon. It was great talking to you guys.
Appreciate you, fellas. Best wishes, hey.
All right, boys. Much love.